waiting for that phone call. Still waiting. What is up, guys? So, as you know, the GoPro Hero 6 was launched a couple of weeks ago, and the original software that it came on seemed to be great. Everyone upgraded to the new software, which was 1.51. When everyone downloaded 1.51, including myself, it just went crazy. Things stopped working, you got split screens, it was so grainy, it was just such a terrible mess. Everyone was complaining, the forums were full, and GoPro said that they would release an update in November, which they did. The question is now was this update worthwhile? And one of the main issues, besides for the split screen, obviously, which is something that they should attend to, people were returning their GoPros because they said, listen, there's too much grain. So, did GoPro fix the grain? Well, I've done the perfect test, I think, to check. So, let's have a look quickly. I filmed this before the update from the exact same point, after the update from the exact same point, to have a look. All the settings stayed the same, and one or two of the clips will actually have the light on in the room. Some of them have it off. I am not using, in this entire clip, I just want to repeat, I am not using version 1.5, the messed up version. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the original firmware that came with the Hero 6. Here it is in 4K 30 frames per second, Protune Off, 4K 30 frames per second Protune On. Obviously it's going to be a bit lighter in Protune, that's why you're going to get more grain. 1080 30 frames per second Protune Off. Then exactly the same with Protune On. Obviously it's a little bit brighter once again. And now we're going to look at version 1.6, which is the latest one. 4K 30 frames per second Protune Off. And then again with Protune On. And it's starting to look a little bit more grainy, I won't lie. I'm going to put them side by side now. So this is Protune Off on the new software at 1080, Protune On. Obviously it's a bit lighter once again. And now for the ultimate test, which I think this is what everyone's been wondering. If you had to put these two clips side by side, which I've done, 4K 30 Protune Off on the left is the new one, on the right is the old one. You can see it's a bit lighter. Protune On on the left and the right once again. That's a bit of a zoomed in close up, so you can have a look. The new one's on the left. Here we go, Protune's Off at 1080, and original on the right, the new one on the left, once again with Protune On, Firmware 1.6 on the left, and there you can see that the new one does very well when the light's on in the room. Okay, and there's Protune On. Right, so as you can see, it seems to be that the new software does almost worse. Yeah, the new software is worse when the room is really dark. It's almost as if GoPro has applied a massive noise reduction on it, but it is super motley, so it kind of runs around the screen, and it kind of looks like the screen's very busy. What was really strange for me was I actually saw it on the screen on the back of the Hero 6, and I still thought maybe it's just the screen. So yeah, when the light is off completely and the room is very dark, obviously, I mean, these are situations that are going to be super dark. So if you're filming like cityscapes and things like that, this is probably where you're going to be, and it's going to be a little bit worse. However, when the light's on in the room, bear in mind that the room is still very dark. It's not the ideal GoPro condition. I understand completely. I know I'm probably going to get tons of people in the comment section that are going to say, hey, listen, GoPro is not meant for the dark. I know that. I completely understand. However, there are times when it's used in the dark, and it just mustn't be terrible. No one's asking it to be like a Red Epic or a 5D Mark IV or a D850. However, it's still got to be somewhat half decent. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to compare version 1.6, the latest one, which is going to be the one on the left-hand side of your screen, versus the old version. Okay, and we're going to compare the grain. However, the only thing I'm going to do is, because the older one still suffered with a fair amount of grain, I am actually going to apply the Neat plugin to this one. So here we go. you've got new firmware update and there's no adjustments. Version 1.6 versus the oldest firmware, which is the one that the GoPro Hero 6 was shipped with. And I'm going to apply sharpening and noise with the Neat plugin. Here you can clearly see on the left hand side how jumpy the screen is. That's what I'm talking about. So there's a bit of a freeze frame zoomed in. You can see the one on the left hand side. Obviously the right still got a bit of discoloration. However, when the clip actually carries on, you can see how it is so unstable. So that's pretty much it. Is it better? Is it worth upgrading? Did GoPro fix it? My best answer is, if you were filming in situations that weren't that dark and you were experiencing grain, which I know a lot of people were, you were busy vlogging something, you were filming something, and you'd get into your car when in an area that's not so dark, and in the shaded areas there was just so much grain. Yes, GoPro's fixed that. However, when it comes to dark stuff, version 1.6 is hands down way worse, because the footage is just so messy and the grain is actually moving so much. I don't understand it. So thank you, GoPro, for fixing the stuff that it should have been filmed with, but in the cases now where it's really dark, you're kind of worse off. If I had to choose whether or not you should upgrade to the new software, I actually wouldn't. I would use version 1. Original, whatever it was, I think it was 1.4 or 1, and I would just use a noise reduction software like the Neat plugin. You're going to get a much better image, and unfortunately you're still not going to be able to use an external mic and some of the voice commands. But otherwise, in terms of the areas that a GoPro should be used, the darkest area that you should kind of go, GoPro did a very great job. So thanks for watching. I really hope this helped you guys. Keep an eye out for our new video that's coming out with the Sun City model road trip. You're going to see just a whole bunch of footage filmed with the GoPro Hero 6. It's pretty funky. It's one of our first ones that we've ever done. Obviously it's our first one with the Hero 6, but it's one of our first ones that we're kind of getting into with the cinematic stuff. So we hope you guys enjoy it, and once it's out I will update this and put a link in the description. So have a good day, and I'll see you guys soon.